Hi, this is your host, Mary Oquendo, with another episode of Women Petpreneurs Podcast. And my guest today is Markie James. Hi, Markie.
Hey. Hey, Mary.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I'm in my salon. Hopefully it's not too bad. But
I see all your wall of great things up there.
yes, it's me and my employees, not just me. It's my employees and everybody. And it gets bigger, like it keeps going. And we started going on the other side.
No, that's good. I think that is such a great marketing tactic, by the way.
Yes, it is. People kind of come in and they're like, whoa, okay. I didn't even know that competitions were a thing. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? If you think about it, when I go into anybody's office and I have to wait, first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at the pictures on the wall.
Yep. And this table is like my little retail, like POP, point of purchase stuff.
Ah, so that's even double. So people will naturally gravitate to pictures. So they're going to go look and they're going to, oh, look, I can buy this.
Yep. Here's a brush. Here's the shampoo they use. Here's combs, all this different perfumes, that kind of stuff.
Nice. When I was mobile, I did do a little bit of retail, but I was kind of careful on my retail because I'm mobile.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So my retail consisted of raw food.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because that's what my dogs were eating. I had the freezer at home for it. And so my philosophy had been is I am not going to help you buy crappy food.
Yeah.
But I will, if you want to buy raw food, I will help you. And they just needed to be like the first appointment of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, so talk about convenience. I mean,
yeah. POP, point of purchase. If it's there and convenient, they're going to buy it.
Exactly. So they would come home. A lot of times they were at work. So they would come home to a clean dog, raw food in their freezer, treats or toys or whatever it is that they ordered that I carried. And my philosophy had been, as long as my dogs like it, it was good. All right. Because then I wasn't worried about keeping product that didn't move. It didn't matter. My dogs would have at it.
Yep. That's smart.
All right. So let's first talk, because for people who are watching on YouTube, they're noticing you have green hair and I have purple hair.
I used to have very purple hair.
I know that.
Yes.
So I like the green on you. The green looks really good.
It's been a week today. So yeah, I'm going into my green phase.
Well, not everybody can pull off green, by the way.
Yeah. A few different colors of green too in there.
Very nice.
I love your purple. I usually did the darker shades. I don't think I could ever pull off anything very.
Well, no, this is faded. This is faded.
So it looks nice. So
well, it fades into this nice lavender bluish thing, which I really like. So I don't like to do it that often because it damages hair and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So a lot of times, since my hair is already bleached, I'll just enhance it with like the color shampoos.
Yes, I love the depositing like conditioners and stuff. I use that all the time.
Ask me what color depositing shampoo I use.
What color? Oh, I'm gonna guess it. I have a guess, but is it Opals?
What was that?
Opals?
Yes, it is.
There you go. I mean, convenient, or you some and your dog some.
It is very convenient. I can go to a dog show, a grooming show, and just like buy a bottle or two, and then just use that in between. You don't need a whole lot on just a little bit of hair.
Yep. Yeah.
And I had a friend who's an educator in a different industry. And she goes to me one day, she goes, I bet you're really easy to spot at a trade show. And I go, no.
No,
not a grooming trade show. If I go, hey, find the lady with the purple hair, you have choices.
Yeah, there's more than one.
There is way more than one. Purple actually is a fairly popular color.
Especially in the pet industry. Yeah.
Exactly. Because we have such easy access to color shampoos.
Yep. My salon is purple and gray. So.
Oh, I love those colors. So anyway, yeah, you won't, her industry is very, the speakers do not, if the speakers have dyed hair, it's simply the gray or they're blonde. That's it.
Boring.
Yeah. So I say boring, I saw one lady
for dull hair.
I saw one lady on one of those transfers to the airport on the bus. She had sparkles in her hair.
Oh, yes, I want to do that. I've got it for dogs. I haven't done it to myself yet.
Yeah, but they're like the
Like they snap, like,
clip-on things.
yeah, yeah.
So I was thinking, ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I get those things? I'm sure the next trade show I go to, I will find them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But not Amazon.
Yep.
All right. And they do make the sprays to put sparkles in. I know Show Seasons has it.
Yep, I use it. Certain dogs, especially short-haired dogs, that the owners want them to be very girly and prissy, but it's a short-haired pit bull thing, and I'll do it up. I'll do like glitter spray and little gems and stuff, you know, so that they're pretty happy with that.
Cool. Yeah, and those are temporary too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So the first question I usually start off with is, how did you get involved in the pet industry?
So long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, feels like another lifetime ago. I was 12 or 13, and I did some volunteer work with this birds of prey place that's kind of close to me, and it was wildlife rehab. And that's where my heart is. If money didn't rule the world, that's what I would be doing. But I loved it. I have my scars from owls biting me or like scratching me and stuff, and I loved it. And so I knew from then on it was going to be animals. And then I kind of just worked whatever job I could find. And eventually one day I was at a corpse store getting my puppy washed, and I was looking at them, watching them, and I was like, I could do that. And so I applied, and that was in 2008. And I've been grooming ever since.
Yeah, that's how I got my start too, that help wanted sign at Corp.
Yep. They suck you in.
They do. And the thing is, I had not even noticed. I mean, I went to the corpse store all the time for dog food, right? And I never noticed that the help wanted sign was always there.
Yeah.
Until I started working for it, and that sign never went away.
Yep. Yeah, my sister actually worked at the same location doing like the pet store, like stocking and helping customers. And so we were there pretty often. And eventually just one day when I actually made an appointment for my puppy, I had a German Shepherd puppy. I know, German Shepherd, but I grew up with them. But I took her and had the puppy bath appointment, and I watched, you know, and stayed away, but like kind of watched and was like, yeah, if I could handle barn owls trying to eat me, you know, then I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You think about it. I worked in a vet's office for a while, and I was the go-to, I guess, the Gal Friday type thing. I was a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know what, my job basically consisted of cleaning out cages, walking the dogs, because you'd be surprised. I mean, I was surprised at how many pets were abandoned at the vet's office.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
even where I worked at.
So I cared for the shop dogs, basically. Okay.
Yep.
First had my first thing with those big, huge autoclaves.
Oh yeah.
As the first time I had ever seen them. All right. For the surgical equipment. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
My intention was to go on to vet school, but you know, we know that didn't happen.
I wanted to be a vet tech, but then I did it for a little while, and I volunteered at our local ASPCA kind of thing, and my heart couldn't take it, and I found myself shaving dogs down and doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, I help where I can.
Yeah. I don't think I would have. I think I could have been a vet. I don't think I would have made me happy.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Yeah.
right. I mean, there is such a high suicide rate with veterinarians.
It's hard, and I've done everything but mobile with grooming, and I didn't last long working there.
Yeah,
because it's hard.
Yeah, so much respect to the veterinarians that are out there.
All of them.
Anytime they present a bill in front of me, I just hand them my credit card.
Every year I try to bring some donuts to my vet. for Christmas. I say thank you, and they love us and love all my dogs because I am there all the time, and I tell them thank you so much all the time.
Yeah, very, very appreciative. I can remember during the height of COVID when they were not letting people in the facility. Okay. And we're just recently allowed in, and it's just like, yeah, you can come in, but why don't you wait till your actual appointment time to come
Yeah,
in?
they don't
So
really have.
yeah. They loved it. My vet and their staff loved not having people in there.
We limited in our lobby, I think it was maximum of 3 because we don't have that big of a lobby, and it was nice not having people crowd in and everything.
But I can remember sitting in my car patiently waiting my turn.
Mhm.
Okay. Shoot, I got Audible, bring a book.
Yep.
You know, and there was this one woman giving them very loudly a hard time. And I'm thinking, first of all, there's a shortage of veterinarians. There's a shortage of vet techs. You're lucky you got an appointment and you're giving them a hard time. So I was thinking, you know how fast she would be out of my schedule?
Oh yeah, they're doing something that you can't do, so you should be appreciative.
Yes.
That's how I look at it.
So anyway, much respect and much love to the veterinarians out there.
Yes, very much so.
All right. So you worked corp. How long were you there?
6 years.
Oh,
My
you
husband,
longer than I did.
7 Christmases, 7 Christmas seasons. My husband was in the military for a big portion of that, and so it was really, I had a guaranteed job wherever we went.
Okay.
So and I never look down on anyone for working whatever you work, because certain situations, if you want your insurance or, the for sure job, wherever we went, wherever he got stationed, I had a job like that. So it was nice reassurance.
Well, see, and that's one of the plus sides to being corp, right? If you need healthcare, you need health insurance.
Yeah.
There's that little bit of traveling that goes in there. My intention was not ever to leave corporate. My intention had been to move along with it. So at some point, my husband was going to retire. We were going to go someplace else. I knew he could have retired way before I would want to retire. I'm still not retired, but anyway. But I knew I could move from location to location to location if that is what I wanted.
Yep.
So,
Convenient.
very, very, very convenient. So there's, I mean, like any place, right? The place that I worked at was awesome until it wasn't awesome.
Yeah. Certainly great. And then, but I came back to my home one where I first started, and I stayed there for quite a while. But certain things happened, and it kind of burst the bulb, I guess, the light bulb or whatever, the glass shattered. And instead of feeling like it would be scary to go somewhere else or do something else, we all started kind of leaving. It was 18 of us in a very small salon, and we were booked from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. days a week. And now it's definitely not. They have like 4 or 5 people, and it closes at 5.
Yeah.
All matter how they treat their people, for sure. Exactly. So there's great things out there that's corp, vet, whatever, mom and pop, but there's also bad.
So out of anger, really, I was really pissed. I started mobile grooming. I mean, honestly, it truly was like the best decision I made for myself.
Yeah. Yes.
I always thank corporate for giving me my start. Yes. And then thank them again for pissing me off enough to leave.
Honestly, yeah, that's very similar to my situation. By all means, I went to a vet's office after that, and then another very small corp for a little while. I've made great connections through all of them, and worked at a mom and pop shop while I went to college, because for some reason I thought I needed to go to college and get a degree. And yeah, so, and then eventually it led to me opening my own salon.
Okay. Before we get into that, let's take our very, very first commercial break. And we're back. So that's just for the YouTube people who don't actually get to hear the commercial.
Yeah.
All right. So YouTubers, if you actually want to hear that commercial, you have to go find us on wherever you listen to podcasts. Anyway, but then again, the listeners don't get the dance. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
All right. So
Lucky.
you decided to open up your own business.
Yes.
What went into that?
So it's kind of a long story. So I had been grooming at that point about 9-10 years, and I had decided to go to college. And at that point, I had finished my college. I went for advertising and graphic design, and I went through this very rigorous program at one of our local community colleges that we were even peer reviewed by SCAD out in Georgia. And all of our portfolios, we were told that they were either on par or better than their 4-year students. I worked for MDI, which is Merchants Distributors Incorporated. They do your Piggly Wigglies, your IGAs, big grocery store chains. So if you shop at any of those, you might have seen some of my graphic design work hanging in there. And so I did that. And then I worked for a big furniture company, Mitchell Gold Bob Williams, very fancy, selling $10,000 couches that I would never buy. Did all their digital content, their web banners, their e-blasts, things like that, and assisted in animations, stuff like that. But the whole entire time I was doing all of this, I was still doing house call because I could never let it go. I had certain clients that I had been grooming for a very long time, friends that trusted me. And so on my weekends, I was going to people's houses. And if someone asked me what I did, what my career was, I would say, well, I'm a pet groomer and a graphic designer. I never dropped the groomer part. So, yeah.
I have a friend who's midway up the food chain at Chevy.
Oh, yeah.
Still grooms.
Yep. Yeah. You can't let it, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And so we bought our house in 2018, and I had a spare room. I have a spare room, and I started having those house call clients because I did not like house call. So props to house call people. It's hard, even if you know the people. I tried to venture out to people I didn't know, and I didn't like it. So I started scheduling them like on my Saturdays or Sundays, several of them, like appointment times. So one would be finished and then the next would come in. And I remember sitting in a little rolly chair, grooming away, and I had the biggest smile on my face. And I was not ever sitting in that little cubicle at the computer smiling like that. And it kind of clicked. And so then in college, I had also done their entrepreneurship team. We all had to submit business ideas, and I submitted a pet grooming salon. And they said it was the best idea. It was a 4-person team for Skills USA. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a very good, I love it, huge supporter of it. Even if you're in community college, high school, huge supporter of it because they promote trades skills. And so I'm a very much trade skill person. But we went to state and won gold, and then we went to nationals and won gold with it. And I was sitting in that room with the judges. It was kind of like a Shark Tank thing. And they looked me dead in the eye and said, you should do this. You totally should do this. And so I also make costumes and sew a lot. And so I had some friends that year in October say I should go to this huge costume contest. It's a $500 prize. So I was like, I don't know, but I went, I won, and I felt like that was the universe telling me I should do it. So I bought my first tub and my first table with that $500.
Nice.
My business in my basement.
All right. Are you still home-based or are you in a shop?
In a storefront. I stayed home-based for about a year, and we were booming so much. I had at that point a receptionist and a part-time employee. And I had taken 6 months before that the leap of leaving my full-time, full salary, full benefits desk job. So I was grooming anywhere from 8 to 14 dogs every weekend while working 5 days a week at a desk for 6 months. And then I was like, I can support myself doing just this. So I switched to that. And within that next 6 months, I hired my first 2 employees. And then I moved after a year to a storefront. We've been here 3 years. Yes, 3 years going on 4, and I'm now up to 9 employees.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're booked, I would say 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and lower, like right now, probably 2 weeks, and then summertime we get usually 6 weeks or so out.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So now do you compete, or is that your?
I compete, and then one of my other employees does as well.
Okay. So how far have you gone competing?
I'm still an entry level because I'm a scaredy cat, but I've won a few best first timer, 3rd place, a few placements. Got, I think, 3rd place in extreme duo a few times. This year, the plan is to hopefully, I have my miniature poodle that I started showing in AKC, and we've got 2 points to our names. But I'm hoping to also take her into the competition ring with grooming this year.
All right. Props to anybody who does competition.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's hard.
Well, and it's not only that too, you're putting your work up there for everybody to take a look at.
Everybody has an opinion.
Oh, everybody has an opinion. All right. I can remember sitting at one of the competition, and a couple behind me were like snickering. And I thought that was really rude, because you know what? Who's up in the competition ring? Not them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So kudos. And it's probably one of the few things in my grooming career that I regret at least not jumping into entry at some point.
Yeah, I mean, and I still think you have time. You could totally do it, even if it were the rescue rodeo,
That's an option. I think at some point I will do rescue rodeo.
I want to do it.
The thing that stops me from doing that right now is that I never know what my teaching schedule is until they give it to me. So I don't want to like do, and rescue rodeo goes like this. All right. So when they announce, hey, entries are open for rescue rodeo, you literally got to be at the computer, everything ready. Yeah. Really fast, and have that credit card information saved in your computer so you could just hit the button for it.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Last year, I also started teaching some classes at Barkley shows.
Yes, I saw that. So tell me a little bit about some of those classes you're teaching.
So last year I taught bad dogs deserve to be cute anyways, or cute too. Majority of my clientele are those ones that other people can't touch, or they've been kicked out of everywhere. I do the, I wouldn't say fear-free, but very much your emotions, everything should be in check, and we're going to go as slow or as fast as that dog needs, and we're going to try different techniques. I probably have not used a muzzle in almost 3 years.
Nice.
And when I do, it's very, very rare. My go-to is a cone or one of the ball things. If I do use some kind of restraint thing, I like the chill, and I talk about that. Attitude is everything in that class. That's a big part of it for me. And dead flowers never bloom. Kelsey Ann Sexton, she likes to say that to me all the time. We talk a lot. And basically, if you're setting yourself up for failure that day because, oh gosh, this dog is so difficult, I don't want to do it, it's going to set you up for failure. So I talk about, being happy, and even if you have to talk like this to get yourself in a great place for grooming, then do it, like whatever tricks work.
Yeah, I don't think people realize. I mean, it's one thing that's little one are like my mini soapboxes. I have all these soapboxes over here, and they're all lined up, and I pull it out when I need. All right. So one of my soapboxes is that animals, it's not that they read us very well, it's they smell us very well. So when you're depressed, you don't want to do something, or you're angry, they pick up on the hormones our body is dumping because of that, and they're reacting to the hormones in our body. So yes, mood is everything.
Oh yeah, and kind of off of what you had mentioned way earlier, the whole like whatever your dogs, what's good for your dogs, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I treat every single dog like, if I were to do something, I always analyze it as, would I be okay with somebody doing this to my dog?
Yes.
And if I wouldn't be, then I'm not doing it.
Well, yeah, because as we all know, Pooh Bear is actually sleeping in my sweatshirt right now. Okay. So yeah, I'm really particular about who touches my dogs.
Me too. My Schnauzer is a grumpy. She's ever since she was a few weeks old, she's a grumpy old lady, and she can be a little difficult with certain things and blow drying and stuff. And so, I want to cater to her. And I would hate to imagine somebody taking my dog and mistreating her. So I treat every dog as my own. I know it's cliche, but
No, well, yeah, back when I was in Connecticut, I would bring my dogs into the vet to do the nails.
yeah.
Because I have a couple doxy mixes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'll pay someone to cut their nails. And the vet goes to me one day, you know what, we really like, yeah, they're difficult, but we really like cutting their nails because you don't have a hard time. You don't give us a hard time if we quick them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't quick those nails, I'm going to give you a gold star because I know exactly what it takes to cut their nails.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I have a doggy lift system here for my dogs. And the first thing that comes out right after the nail clipper is the bottle of Quick Stop, because
just in case.
Just in case, because I know exactly how Cecil reacts to getting his nails done.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, if you just hold still, we can be done in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, just let me do it. And I'm hoping I've submitted 5 other classes for me to teach. That I have, because I, of course, my graphic design and advertising background. I wrote an article in Groomer to Groomer last year or the year before, talking about graphic design and logos. I really feel like from where I stand, it's a very, very important part of building your business, building your brand, being consistent too the whole time. That's a huge thing. So I'm definitely want to teach as much as I can off of that, and from my experience with these major corporations that I work for too. I saw their inner workings all the way from my small salon to these major corporations and how they market themselves. And then I specialize in Yorkie pet trims. So I've submitted that class. So if anybody wants to see these classes and a few other ones for sure.
I think marketing and branding is really, really important. I don't think groomers put enough stock in that, because how you brand yourself. I know, if you don't set a brand, it's set for you.
Yes,
you have a brand. It may not be the one you want.
You want to set the image in your clients' minds, not let them make it up for themselves.
My first logo. All right. So I've had several logos over the year. The last grouping of logos has been very, very similar as far as style and colors are concerned. But my first logo was much different. Yeah. And it was very high-endy. It was a poodle looking in a mirror, but I was mobile. So it was going for that high-end stuff. Yeah.
And that's that you want to portray.
Yeah. And I needed to change that after I got my initial customers, because
that's mine.
Oh, that's very nice. So that's your Schnauzer.
Yep, that is. And BarkSide Pet Grooming, I wanted it to be BarkSide of the moon. So I put a moon in the logo to imply it. But it looks high end, it's sleek, it's clean. You look at it and you know we're animal oriented. You know what we do within a few seconds.
Well, and that's exactly what it is. That's what your logo needs to do.
Yes.
Okay. Needs to convey, and you need to watch who you're attracting, right? So after I decided that that was no longer, because I didn't want to do poodles and show coat.
Yeah,
not what I wanted, but then I started to attract all of those. Okay. But anyway, so my next set of logos, I was like really clear that I was just like opening up the woo-woo closet, so to speak, the closet. So I had the colors of the rainbows, but they were meant to represent the chakras.
Yeah.
But other people took it as it was LGBT. Oh God. LGBT.
LGBTQ plus.
friendly, which I am. Okay. Okay. So it served a dual purpose. So that the point being is that if you saw those colors and it pissed you off for whatever reason,
Not the client for me.
not the client I want. So a good brand will not only attract the people you want, it's going to repel the ones you really don't want.
And in my studies in college, we'd have where we would literally study certain logos and brands, and you would take away the actual name of it or any actual letters, and they would just show the symbol, and they'd talk about what emotion does this evoke. And a lot of times it was like say the Apple symbol of well, I like Apple products, I am a graphic designer, so I have Apple everything because it streamlines my life. And so I think loyalty, streamlining, easy to use, bam bam bam, within a few seconds. And so you want to have and like my logo, what does this convey? This professionalism. Sleek design means that we know what we're doing, and we're professionals, and we probably should be contacted. But also we're a little quirky, BarkSide. It's a little quirky, funny, so we're a little down to earth too. So maybe it'll attract the type of people we want.
And before I like to delve a little further into that, because that's just one of those fun things I like to talk about. Let's take another commercial break.
I'm going to dance and take a drink.
Drink too.
Arizona.
Into water, which are not our sponsors.
Not our sponsors. Not sponsored by the letter A today.
Okay. So, and colors too. Colors can be really impactful. I think I read an article one time that in case anyone was wondering why, like McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King all had orange, yellow, and red in part of their logos.
Yep.
Because they want you to eat.
There is a psychology behind all of it, and the whole pet industry using purples, and that's very common. Purple is typically associated with animal care, kindness, compassion. Thus, purple, we tend to gravitate towards that. Plus, we're a very creative industry anyways.
So yes, what? Now I do have like that single tattoo.
Yeah.
So and it's Tinkerbell. Okay.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell on my ankle, and I will have gotten stopped by so many kids.
Yeah.
Who just point and who do you have there?
I have pumpkins all over.
Oh, cool.
And then I have my bat.
Okay.
Because I love everything creepy, and I've always loved bats, and they're huge pollinators, and they're on the what is it, not endangered, but the next level before that list. I'm covered in tattoos.
For me, it's just the one. I've thought about a second one, but nothing ever. Oh, you got one on your finger too?
It's my magic wand. It's a little paw print in my magic wand.
Oh, there we go. But we are very, very creative, and we express that in different ways. Sometimes it's hair color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love the green and the black. I just cannot tell you how much I adore that the mix of the color there.
It's definitely, like I said, it's been a week and I am in love with it. It's some very bright green with some darks, and yes, and I have green eyes, so it just.
Like I said, I did try the green one time, and one thing about my husband, he is a lot like me and really to the point, and I came home with the green and I wasn't happy with it. Okay. And he goes, "You look like you're 103. I'm like, "Shut up."
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, this is not going to happen again. We're going to let this fade out, and then I will do a different color," because I really did not like the way it looked on me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to go through the process of removing the green and adding another color.
Yeah. It's definitely definitely takes its toll.
Yeah. But I've done other colors. I've done some of the bright in with the purple. Okay. A lot of times I'll add pink in with the purple, which is nice. I've done the yellow and the orange in with the purple, but I find those colors fade way too fast.
So I said I'm in my green period, I think. So when I was in high school and then my late 20s, I was red and black, and I did black like right here. Before I even knew what a money piece was, I now know that that's this area here. I did black there and had bright red hair, and I had done flames, like it was dark red all the way down to yellow tips and white and every color under the sun of every shade of red. And then I switched into purples. And I did every shade of purple possible, purples and pinks and all of that. And now I'm in my green period. I did that for about 10 years. And so now I think I'm on to the next one.
Why do they call it the money piece? That's the first time I've heard that term.
I don't know. So I'm 35. I am out of the loop. I have an 11-year-old. I learned from him and friends. So apparently this is a money piece where they do the brighter or a different color here.
You know, I spend a lot of time on Google. So somebody will say something in one of the groups I have no talking about, and I have to go Google it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What they're talking about.
Because I don't do much social media these days. So, you know, I keep it to a bare minimum few and streamline my life. And I learn from others, and I'm usually late to the party.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm very late to the party too. I'll just sit there and pretend like, yeah, I know what they're talking about. No, I don't.
Well,
yeah, what was that term again?
Yeah, I knew that.
So where do you see yourself in let's say 5 years?
So my ultimate goal is there's a building not even a block away that I would love to buy, but the stars are not aligning yet. It's still for sale. I would love to move there and have a pet boutique along with grooming, because the area that I'm in, I moved from my home-based salon after that year. I had done the research on demographics. I did my SWOT analysis, comparing it to many other businesses and things and locations, and really the area that I'm in is filled with those empty nesters that tend to have a little more income, and they are willing to spend it on their pets. This is a very more pet-friendly area, and the pet stores, pet supply stores, and other grooming salons are at least 15 minutes away any other way. There's nothing else here. So I feel as though that would be my next step. For the business, I would love to do that, move it and transition into something like that. And then I have a plan of semi-retiring, as in working like 3 days a week in the salon and being able to teach more, because I love teaching.
Awesome. And I'm going to swap out a soapbox for another soapbox. So you mentioned your SWOT analysis.
Yes.
And it is such a simple thing.
Does not take much time at all.
It literally could take you like a half hour, and honestly should be done once a year, bare minimum. Right. And you take a sheet of paper and you fold it into quarters. You put strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, SWOT, SWOT. All right. Yes. And figure out what are some of the upcoming problems. I know. So my first SWOT analysis I realized two things in the weaknesses. One was organization. I just cleaned the top of this table over here. I swear to you, like a week ago, not even a couple of days ago.
It's the gremlin.
And so I live in a state of organized chaos. All right. So I gravitate towards chaos. And if I don't have put things in plan to help me with organization, then I'm swamped, I'm overwhelmed, I get nothing done. All right. So that's a skill that I realized I had to learn how to do. Okay. And the second thing is my taxes. I can do my bookkeeping, but yeah, I know the face. Yeah. For those who are just listening, Markie just did the perfect face when it came to taxes. I always said, if I have to do
let that be the shot for the YouTube video.
If I had to do my own taxes, I probably would be doing this podcast from a federal penitentiary.
I do my own taxes.
Oh, no, not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to hire someone to do it because they're going to do, they probably take, I just give them my well-kept books. It probably takes them a half hour.
It takes me, I split it up because I get frustrated and I'm tired and I keep track of all my stuff. I do really well. It's just, I go through it with a fine tooth comb and I'm very particular on things. And so like with my business, you know, before I even opened this, I had done that for that Skills USA. I had built me and 3 other people. I always try not to ever take credit where I shouldn't. We built a 32-page business plan, 32 pages of business jargon, you know, so I'm very tedious and I can be kind of intense when it comes to my passions and things that if I set my mind to it, people have told me, I set my mind to it. If I say it's happening, it's happening, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. And so with taxes, I'm very tedious and it takes me forever, but I make sure it's done right.
Yeah, that's why I hire a business CPA who specializes in small business, and I hand it to him and then he does all my tax stuff for me. And then he tells me what my quarterly tax payments are and I hand him a check and we're good.
Done.
We're done. Whatever the number is on his invoice, that's what the check gets written for.
If I were a less glutton for punishment, maybe I would do that.
But that's what it taught me, that those were 2 weaknesses that I had, that if I did not deal with those weaknesses, my business is not going to succeed.
No, and it's not going to grow and you're not going to hit those 5-year goals that we were just talking about.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And so for those going to Tacoma, I am doing a business plan workshop. Attend it. All right. It's one of those classes that you think, this is boring, I don't want to do it. You want your business to grow.
Pivotal.
Do it. So
and I try to tell people too, like even my employees. So the way I am here is I want them to see them succeed, preferably here with me. But if they have other dreams, goals, and aspirations, I tell them, you know, let's go do it. I have paid for professional headshots for almost all of them. I need to get new ones done now that the hair is different. And I have them take pictures of every single dog that they do. We post them every day on Facebook. So there's my social media marketing every day that we're open. But also it has provided all of them their own portfolios to be a professional. And so here, you know, we want them to grow and we want them to succeed, but I tell them all the time too, the nitty gritty stuff, that stuff's great. But the nitty gritty stuff, I look every single week at our numbers, at our online, our Google, you know, what words people are using to Google us, all this stuff. And then our numbers for how we're booked right now, what kind of dogs, new customers, returning clients. And I analyze it and I make changes every single month.
And that brings up a good point. Now, if you as a business owner don't want to do that, that's fine. You get a bookkeeper or you hire someone to do that, because in order to make really good decisions regarding your business, you need to know what your numbers are.
Yes. Yes. And that's big. And it's not just, well, we made this much money this day. No, it's let's analyze. We brought in this much money. How much did it cost us out in, you know, employees and, you know, just to run the place, you know, was it worth it? What are we doing different? What's changed? What do we need to change? What do we need to stay the same? And because your business is a living being to me, it's a living thing, and it's an amoeba that constantly changes along with your clientele and the environment and everything. And you have to be adaptable.
Yeah, I'm looking to make a big change to positive educational training. However, I have to hit a number before I do that.
Yeah.
And I won't know that unless I'm tracking my numbers. But I guarantee you, when I hit that number, there's going to be an announcement. All right. But you know what? That's how you grow and how you change your business.
Yep.
So, Markie, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. If you have any other questions or anything you want to discuss,
Well, actually, you know what? Let's end this up just a little bit different. So you have chickens.
yes, I do.
Okay. Before we end this up, especially now with the price of eggs, are you have armed guards around your chickens?
No, actually, I give away my eggs for
Oh,
free.
okay. For those who are listening,
If you're in my area, my next door neighbors for my business, one of them's the mayor of one of the towns nearby. I give him free eggs, and I give my neighbors free eggs. And anybody, as long as you bring me a carton with your name on it, I'll give you some free eggs because I'm swimming in them.
we don't go through much eggs here. Some,
We go through, but not enough.
but also I just want to address the pricing on it. People think the pricing of eggs is really, really bad. However, if you look at it from a perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there was a really bad avian flu.
Correct. Okay. Which I had to protect my chickens from personally. I had to spend money and time making arrangements and taking care of them.
So a lot of chicken farmers lost a lot of their flocks. So therefore, the whole supply and demand issue. Yep. You know what? They still have to make money and make a living.
Yeah.
It's like we have to make money and make a living. All right. They've got mortgages to pay. They probably have employees. They have a family. So there's that. And then there's the other side of it. All right. I saw some sort of meme out there that complaining about $5 for a dozen eggs, yet you will go to any of the big coffee shops and drop $5 without blinking an eye on something you're going to consume in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So perspective.
Very much. And it's in being in the service industry, it definitely applies to us too. I analyze pricing every year, because things have changed. Things, like I said, it's a living entity and you have to kind of change with it. Just like my chickens, I give it away for free because I'm drowning in them and everything. And I could make a profit. I could market it and do it. I don't have time for it. Come take some eggs.
I've had a lot of stuff. I'm going to do an article for Groomer to Groomer, and it's going to be, is your business a business or a hobby? And compare the two.
Yeah. And that's, not every side thing has to be a hustle. Mm. I had mentioned that I sew and make all kinds of things. And I used to be a professional cosplayer. I used to get paid to do it. And it was a lot of fun. Absolutely loved it. But when you got it onto that level, the pressure and the high stakes and, the organizing and being at every single little thing every weekend, it was a lot, and it took away from my passion and me enjoying it.
Yeah, it takes the fun out of it. So I have two hobbies right now, and one is making those crystal lanyards because it's fun. And the thing is, I'm not going to make any money on this. No, my only goal is not to lose money. Okay.
It brings you joy.
It's fun. It's relaxing. It's a hobby. If I have to turn that into a business, it's going to take the joy out of it.
Exactly. So my chickens and my eggs, I've even asked around, if I could donate them to women's shelters, things like that, because I'm not there for profit. I'm there to enjoy owning chickens and how goofy they are and fun they are, and just have some eggs.
You have a food bank in your area you could donate?
Yes, we do. We have a few different ones. And so I'm in contact with quite a few, actually, trying to see what I can work out.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so yeah, my other hobby is photography. You know what? And that's a really expensive hobby.
It is.
Okay, so having a successful business helps to pay for that hobby.
Correct.
I'm going to make $0 on. Yeah. And I'm definitely going to be spending money on that hobby. So again, going back to, having a successful business allows you to have hobbies.
Yes. And my dad, he has said it to me. He has literally stopped what he's doing and say, I love being able to see you just living your life. doing the things that make you happy. And it means the world to me, but I've worked very hard to get to this point, which I know everybody has to, but there's different paths we can go, and being smart about it. Even if you're just an employee, having those plans, analyzing what you're doing in that business, in that salon, and making changes to what you're doing day to day can mean all the difference. So you don't have to own a salon to be very successful and do all kinds of crazy things,
No, you don't. So again, Markie, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And so everybody join us next week when I interview another woman making a huge difference in the pet industry.